Hey everybody, Coach Dan here from the Run Experience. It's that time of year again. So cuddle up on the floor of your weird day job office with the image of a crackling fire on your laptop screen, and let's dig into my holiday stocking stuffer guide right here on the Run Experience. Now here are the rules, first of all, for a stocking stuffer. Number one, it can't break the bank. It has got to be inexpensive but of high quality. Number two, it's got to be small enough to fit in a stocking. This is the one I like best. And number three, nobody gave me these products. These are things that I've purchased with my own dollars and that I like very much. This is just a genuine list of 10 things I would be excited to see in my stocking this year, and I bet the runner in your life would be excited to see in their stocking as well. So follow along. They're in here in sort of a random order. I'm excited, even though I know what I put in the stocking. I'm all set. I'm going to go through all 10 of them pretty quick, starting right now. Number one, no, it's not a fancy running watch. It's this little thing right here on the back. You see that pink thing? That's a dust cover for the charging port of your running watch. Now, that port can get gummed up with all kinds of stuff, mostly sunscreen and sweat and mud. And so one of these dust covers can actually extend the life of your fancy running watch. These are unbelievably inexpensive. There's links to all this stuff in the description of the video. Sometimes if you buy an extra charging cord for your watch, you actually get a few of these dust covers, but I highly recommend them. It will extend the life of your fancy running watch, and you can get them in cool, fancy colors. So that's number one. Number two, oh, this one came out early. This is some serious love language talking right here. This is my favorite running headlamp, and it's upside down. This is my favorite running headlamp. This is made by BIOLITE. It's got a great battery. This is the 330 lumen version. I also have the 750 lumen version. I call that one the squirrel roaster. These don't bounce around in your head. They're really durable. I'm really tough on kit, and I haven't broken either one of these things in a couple of years now. The battery life's great, and the big fatty, the fancier one, you can actually charge while you're running. So if you have a little battery pack, you can keep it charging if you decide to run all night. That's two. Number three, nuun. Nuun. I don't know, man. It's good though. This is a full spectrum electrolyte. This one's got caffeine in it because that's how I like to roll. I've got a cup of it right here. I drink these almost every day after a run or during a long run if I'm on the trail. It's what I often put in the front bottles of my running vest, and so I highly recommend. These are inexpensive. They're tablets, so they don't take up a ton of room in the cupboard like the ones that are already mixed do, and I like the taste. This is my favorite. It's the Fresh Lime Sport caffeinated one. They have a line as well called Immunity, which I like a lot. It kind of replaced orange juice for me in the morning when I don't want the sugar of orange juice. Not that you should feel that way, but you know, I do. Next on the list, here we go. Very inexpensive, all-purpose. I put it on the list as a lacrosse ball. This one isn't technically a lacrosse ball, it's sort of a massage ball, but a lacrosse ball is the cheapest way to get the same job done. Those of us runners have all these torture devices kicking around. Foam rollers and massage guns and all kinds of junk. This is my favorite one. You just put it on the wall against your back and go to town. You can use it on the floor. It's great if your calves feel the way my calves often feel. I think a lacrosse ball is a killer stocking stuffer for the runner in your life. Next, coming out of the stocking, oh yeah. Yeah, you've seen these in videos before. These are my go-to everyday GOODR running sunglasses. I like these. The model is called Pineapple Painkiller. Why do I like them? Well, obviously because they make me look really cool, but also it's the non-mirrored pink or rose lenses that I like the most. I love them on the trail, and because they're not mirrored, you can stuff them in your running vest and it doesn't scratch off that mirrored coating over time. So I found these to be really durable. But more than that, I just like the way they look. They're really fun running sunglasses, and so that's why they're on my list and why I love them so much. Next, coming out. Oh, good. Yes. A pair of light running gloves. These ones happen to be made by the good people at LULULEMON, but the brand isn't as important as the fabric and the fit. You want a pair that's going to fit your runner nicely and is light. This time of year, heading into the coldest bit of the winter here in North America, you need a pair of gloves that's going to be Light enough that's not going to cause you to sweat too much, but heavy enough that's going to keep the chill out of your hands. I like these ones because they've got the funny patty things if I need to change the music on my phone or the podcast while I'm running, so they're quite good. I have a couple of pairs of these and I like them a lot, but again, it's not brand specific, just a pair of light running gloves that isn't going to break the bank. I also like not breaking the bank on those so that when I lose them, it's not a tragedy. What is next? Ooh, a twofer! This is a top 10 list, but these sort of go together for me. These are my go-to emergency carbs while I run. Here we have Endurance Tap. This is a maple syrup, ginger, and salt product made here in Canada, but there are versions of it made all over. This is my favorite in part because of the sustainable packaging. And over here we have Awake Chocolates. I like the caramel version only because I like the caramelly taste of them. But again, these are both caffeinated products because that's how I like to roll, especially early morning runs. I am addicted to espresso. And when I'm out on the trail, I can't always get that espresso, and so having something caffeinated out there can help me fuel, but also keeps that caffeine addiction headache at bay. And so I would highly recommend them both. What's next? Ooh. This is a Buff. Now we call them neck gaiters because Buff is a brand name and it's sort of like a Kleenex Band-Aid scenario. I decided to take this particular one to show you today because it's got reflective material built into it. I happen to use this particular Buff when I'm running to and from the gym in the evening. So if I'm going for a workout, I'm going to run to the gym, I'm going to run home in the dark. I have that cool headlamp that I showed you, the lighter version as opposed to the squirrel roaster. And I have this that I put around normally my neck while I'm running. It helps reflect the oncoming traffic's headlights so that you don't get squished running home from the gym. Now, I would also suggest, if you don't need the one with the reflective bits in it, to buy this sort of thing from your next race. Buying race kit and race branded stuff is a great reminder of the fun you had, but it also helps support those races. They don't tend to make a ton of money. So if you can pick up a Buff from the race, I almost always do that when I have the chance. Buffs, neck gaiters, whatever you want to call them, you can almost not have too many of those if you're a runner, especially if you're a trail runner. Next, ooh, socks. Listen, I have a lot to say about socks. We don't have time for it all today, but I will tell you that these are my favorite winter running socks. The brand I like to run in the most on my feet is Smartwool. I love Smartwool socks. They just work really well for me and stop me from getting any nasty blisters or any of the other things that will slow me down. These are my favorite winter runners because they're so long and fluffy on the top. They help keep me nice and warm. And here's the pro tip when you put on these. I think these are actually a part of their Alpine ski model if you're searching for them on the Smartwool website. But the pro tip is to put these on after your tights and wear them over your tights. That's mostly a stylish choice, but you know, it also has some warmth function there as well. But trust me, once you do it that way, you won't go back. That's number 9. Last but not least. Oh, this one's sneaky. Gosh, this is one of my favorite all-time running products. This is called Compeed. These are kind of like Band-Aids, only a different brand. Obviously, the brand is Compeed. These are specifically for blisters. So if you've got a hot spot or you've got a little blister on your feet from running, you put one of these over there and it kind of like forms this weird second skin barrier right on top of the blister, and it's a lifesaver, especially if you're out for a long day on the trails or you know it's going to be especially hot or especially wet out there and you've got a hot spot already. Compeed's the way to go. I will never race without these in my drop bags. I seldom use them anymore because of the Smartwool socks and a few other things that I do to keep my feet working well, but trust me when I tell you that when you need one of these, it can really save your day out on the trail. There's nothing that can make you more miserable than a blister. A really hot blister on your feet can make a long, glorious trail run feel really arduous and painful. There you have it. My stocking is empty. I know that the runner in your life would be really excited to unwrap these things from their stocking, but I also know that it's perfectly okay for your family and loved ones to let you down. It is Christmas after all, and when they do that, go buy this stuff for yourself. It's not too expensive and it will make running more comfortable and more fun.